Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike has defended the removal of fuel subsidy and launched a fresh attack on former Vice President Atiku Abubakar over his changing position on the controversial policy. The development has reignited debate over fuel subsidy as political activities ahead of the 2027 elections continue to gather momentum. Speaking during an inspection of ongoing infrastructure projects in Abuja, Wike questioned Atiku's recent promise regarding fuel subsidy, accusing the former vice president of contradicting his earlier stance on the issue. According to Wike, Atiku had previously pledged to remove fuel subsidy within his first 100 days in office if elected president in 2023.
I disagree with you that Atiku is one of the leading candidates. I disagree with you. I disagree with you. You have only one leading candidate, and that's President Tinubu. I have told people this will be the easiest election. Why did I say so? I'm saying so because you have no position. Opposition is not merely because parties have presented their candidates. No opposition is united to say, really, we want to remove this government in power. And so, for me, I see that there was no opposition in 2023 than now. 2027 is gone. It's gone because you don't have any opposition that want to wrestle power from the government.
However, the former vice president is now being criticized for advocating a different approach as the 2027 political race begins to take shape. Wike argued that subsidy removal was necessary to address what successive governments described as an unsustainable burden on the nation's finances. He maintained that the policy, though difficult, was aimed at creating long-term economic stability and freeing up resources for development projects. The FCT minister did not hold back in his criticism, describing Atiku's position as inconsistent and politically motivated. He questioned why a policy once supported by the former vice president was now being challenged as Nigerians prepare for another election cycle. The remarks come amid growing political exchanges between major actors ahead of the 2027 presidential election. The fuel subsidy issue has once again emerged as a major talking point, with different political camps offering contrasting solutions to Nigeria's economic challenges. Meanwhile, the presidency has also criticized proposals to restore fuel subsidy, warning that such a move could negatively impact economic reforms and public finances. Supporters of subsidy removal argue that the policy creates room for investment in infrastructure and social programs, while critics insist that ordinary Nigerians continue to bear the burden of higher fuel and transportation costs. Political analysts say the latest exchange between Wike and Atiku signals that economic policies will play a central role in the battle for voter support ahead of 2027. The subsidy debate is expected to remain one of the defining issues in the country's political landscape. As the debate intensifies, Nigerians will be watching closely to see how political leaders address concerns over fuel prices, economic reforms, and the cost of living in the months ahead. That's the latest on this story.